Another list video! This list centers around one man, Dave Chappelle. Comedy legend, bounced out of the public's eye for 10 years, came back, and instantaneously became the king of comedy once again. With his 5 Netflix specials shattering viewing records, it seems the public is once again enamored with Chappelle, and rightfully so. Dave's comedy is some of the best out there, period. I, your lovely narrator who is speaking to you right now, absolutely adore Dave Chappelle. He is straight up one of my heroes, and if I could have just a gram of his talent, I would probably explode from the inside out because I wouldn't be able to handle that shit. Though primarily known for his stand-up, arguably what launched Dave Chappelle into the stratosphere was a little show he did at the beginning of the 2000s called Chappelle's Show. Chappelle's Show is known as one of the greatest sketch shows ever, and his very public departure from it is what turned Dave Chappelle from a famous funny man to a comedic myth. In order to fully understand the entire scope of Dave Chappelle's life and his career, one has to see the show that made him rich, biatch! Me be Daniel, my dudes. And these are the top 5 Chappelle's Show sketches. Number 5, White Collar Criminals. For a show that's been off the air for years now, it's surprising to see how many Chappelle Show sketches hold up to this very day. You could even say some were downright prophetic. In the sketch, Chappelle flips the script to point out the disparity of treatment when it comes to the handling of white-collar criminals in comparison to criminals charged with petty offenses. In this case, a drug dealer is coddled while a company executive is brutalized by the system. Before presenting the sketch, Dave names Tyco and Enron as inspiration for it, but in 2003, with the Great Recession just around the corner, there would be other companies that would serve as model inspiration. The sketch presents what some consider a real problem within the American criminal justice system, in which white-collar criminals get away easily with pillaging thousands of people's livelihoods, while criminals charged with minor offenses are much too often thrown the book, the kitchen sink, a bag full of angry fire ants, and a diploma that reads, "Your life is utterly destroyed. Congratulations, here's 25 to life." I plead the 5th. Number 4, the Okay. Number 4, the family. It's my opinion that the second season of Chappelle's Show is the better of the two. While the first season is great in its own right, the second season has more sketches that contain Dave's very special brand of social commentary. The family is probably the most inflammatory sketch Dave produced that was a direct response to the criticism he received for the show's first season. The sketch is about a Leave It to Beaver style family whose surname just so happens to sound like a very, very bad word. Hilarity and confusion then ensue. For those of you who have seen the sketch, it is important to ask yourselves just how you feel about it. What is your initial reaction? Do you laugh? Do you do it wholeheartedly? Is there guilt behind your laughter? Does the sketch make you cringe because of the excessive use of what sounds like a racial slur? All of these are valid questions, and these are questions that Chappelle was trying to get his audience to ask themselves. Alright, bitches, pull out your pencils and papers and take notes, because I'm about to drop a lecture on your ass. The sketch is an exploration in the use of language, particularly when it comes to words and the power that we choose to bestow upon them as a society. Some people say there are certain words and topics that shouldn't be touched. Comedians, on the other hand, say that it's all about the context and not about what's being said. Comics today walk a fine line when it comes to being deemed funny or offensive. Real talk, this is something I struggle with myself personally. As a person who practices comedy, I feel it is my job to push the envelope like all who came before me. Yet there is something inside of me that holds me back out of fear that I might offend somebody. There are times where I genuinely don't know if I'm neutering myself or just being tasteful. I want to be a champion of truth and free speech, yet I don't want to say something stupid, hurt a bunch of people's feelings, expose my own ignorance, and then call it a career. I don't quite know how to take it. Like at the beginning of this segment, I censored myself when I really had no need to. It's a different word, it's a family's last name, it's even spelled differently. Yet I could not bring myself to say it. And not just openly here on the internet, I couldn't say it in the privacy of my own home. Here, give this a listen. I'll play this again, this time without the bleep. Number 4, the N-word family. I'm such a bitch. Number 3, Wayne Brady's show. Life is full of unanswered questions. Questions that have racked the minds of great thinkers, writers, and scientists alike. These questions include, how did the universe come to be? What is the meaning of life? Will we ever learn to live in peace as a species? Is Wayne Brady gonna have to choke a bitch? We will never know the answers to these questions, but what we do know is that the sketch is hilarious, and it's more of an entire episode than an actual sketch. The episode starts off with a scene that foreshadows Chappelle's exit from the show hard. Like, really hard. Like, that's exactly how it went down, except they didn't get Wayne Brady to take over. They got Donnell Rawlings and Charlie Murphy to burn out the rest of the series' sketches. Anyway, in the opening of the episode, Dave airs his grievances to network executives and effectively quits his show. Wayne Brady is then tasked to fill in for Dave, with Dave returning at the end of the episode to take back his show and present a sketch that shows Wayne Brady in all of his homicidal, psychopathic, pimping glory. It's safe to say that this is the most meta episode in the entire series, and it touches on other points other than Dave's overall dissatisfaction with his show, particularly on how some black actors feel the need to appear innocuous to appeal to broader audiences, and the level of competition between actors of color for the sparse amounts of high-profile roles in movies and TV shows. This episode showed the creative peaks the show could reach, while also detailing its eventual demise. Pretty eerie. Number 2, Charlie Murphy's True Hollywood Stories, Rick James, and Prince. Everyone say it together now. Come on, get it out of your system. Let's go. Are you ready? All right, let's go. At the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm Rick James, bitch. Now, yes, I know, these are technically 2 separate sketches that aired on 2 separate episodes, but they exist within the same Charlie Murphy True Hollywood Cinematic Universe, so I'm lumping them together so I can talk about more sketches. You don't like it, fucking sue me. The True Hollywood Story sagas are just that. Outrageous, true happenings involving Rick James and Prince that occurred to Charlie Murphy during the 80s while hanging out with his brother, Eddie Murphy. As the story goes, Charlie Murphy would tell these yarns during lunch outings, and after hearing them, Dave and his co-producer, comedian Neil Brennan, decided to adapt the stories for the show. Most of the humor comes from the storytelling and everything that went into recreating these fucking outlandish scenarios. The sketches are full of great visual gags, classic one-liners, and feature superb performances by Chappelle and Charlie Murphy himself. It's sad to think that the 3 people who are the focal points of these sketches are no longer with us today. Rest in peace, super freak Rick James. Rest in peace, oh holy purple one, Prince. And rest in peace to the Bard himself, Charlie Murphy. You are all dearly missed. And number 1, Frontline, Clayton Bigsby. To all of the people listening, imagine putting yourselves in this scenario. Say you have a TV show that is going to premiere to millions of people throughout the country. What do you put in your first episode? A sketch parodying a car commercial? Okay, that's gonna seem a little dated down the line, but okay, it's funny. Next up, a sketch about a shitty customer service place? Hey, that's funny. I can totally relate to that. You know, people will get that. Sure, okay. Yeah, sounds good. Next up, a sketch where Nat King Cole pours champagne down a woman's breasts? Oh, now that's just silly. Alright, last sketch. Oh my god, it's about a black blind white supremacist. The balls! If you're wondering which sketch pissed everybody off during the first season, it's most definitely this one. It's rare for TV shows to nail the essence of what they're about in the first episode, but Chappelle's show was able to do this with this one sketch. It just has everything that made the show great. A no-holds-bar approach when dealing with sensitive topics, biting commentary when it comes to social and racial issues, the use of juxtaposition to illuminate a subject or a matter, and a profound sense of understanding that is cleverly hidden behind a boyish sense of humor. With this mock report on Clayton Bigsby, Dave Chappelle taught us 3 things. It doesn't take much to flip the most hateful ideologies square on their heads. Hideous people aren't necessarily born, they're bred, and comedy doesn't exist just to make you laugh, it's also there to make you think. It's been a long 10 years without you, Dave. Never leave us. Long live Chappelle's. And that's our list. Did we miss any out? Let us know in the comments down below. And you can follow me here on social media. I'm Daniel fucking Farias, and I'll see you soon.